Hi, my name's Todd Feathers. I'm a reporter for the Lowell Sun. For the past 2 months, I've been working on a project about opiate addiction treatment in Massachusetts. It's pretty common knowledge that it's a big problem, but it's not as widely known how hard it is to get treatment.
So Todd, who did you speak to about this story?
So throughout the process, I spoke to several families. I spoke to the people who work in treatment facilities, legislators, researchers. There's one family in particular, the family of Zachary Guys, his mother Louise and his father Mickey, who were very helpful throughout the whole thing. It's really a tragic story about their son.
Can you tell me just a little bit more about Zach?
So he was in high school when he first took a Percocet. He was a great hockey player, a very well-dressed young man, from what I'm told, and it only took him one Percocet after he injured his ankle playing hockey for him to start down the path of addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And about 4 years later, he was in a sober home in Florida when he overdosed on morphine and died.
What did you learn about during the process of your reporting on this?
A lot. I think most striking to me was that there's no real resource to go to find out what you do when your family member is an addict, and even if there were, it's so hard to get into treatment. It's very difficult to find any kind of bed where you can stay for any length of time, and once you move out of one facility, you're back on the streets. So you're lucky if you have a family member who will let you stay with them and will watch out for you. A lot of people don't, and they end up on the streets and they end up overdosing and dying.
You also learned about the psychological impact on the families.
Mm-hmm. It's huge. Several of the people who I spoke to mentioned that you have to think about this in humanitarian terms, but even if you don't, economically, the way that this destroys a family, the parents of an addict can't work, the spouses can't work, they're constantly having to watch out for a family member, and after a person overdoses, if they do pass away, it lasts forever. They're never the same.
What surprised you most in the reporting on this story?
The people who deal with this every day know how underserviced addicts are. They're fully aware that the facilities they have are not as nice and are not as big as they need to be, and that people are going without care constantly. But it's just such a daunting problem to add beds, to add facilities, to create some kind of continuum where people are guided through detox all the way up to long-term programs. The people who deal with that every day, they know what the problems are, but somehow it's just not translating into answers. And you're told constantly how common it is that people are addicted. Everybody knows a family member or a friend who's addicted to opiates, and yet nobody can talk about it in public. And that there are changes taking place, that there's good legislation in the works, but to date the problem is certainly not solved.